All right, guys. Good afternoon. Hello and welcome back. Lesson 4 for World History A. I did turn on live captions down below if we need to see those. These live captions, at least on my screen, are showing way down here. So I hope you can follow on with that. Let's go ahead and get started. We got 5 minutes on the clock. Setting my timer. All right, here we go. So in this lesson, we are talking about prehistory. All right. Two terms for this time around are as follows. We have domesticated, or to make ready for human use, in the same way that we domesticated horses, domesticated animals, and make them a part of our daily living. And then we have prehistory. History is written stories. So prehistory is the period in time before historical records are kept, which is pretty much units 1, 2, and 3, right? We kind of hear these stories throughout time, but there really isn't any written evidence unless you're the Egyptians anymore. We're writing on stone, right? So thank you, Egyptians. People we need to know this time around is Christian Jurgensen Thompson. He came up with this 3-age system. Essentially, there was a standard of progression. Humans went from here to here to here to there, this progressive cycle, to where we are today. In his 3-age system, he talks or developed, well, I'll just read it to you while I'm here. All right. Thomas based his system on the assumption that there had been standard progression among humans in the use of tools. The assumed progressive, he divided into 3 stages or ages: the Stone Age, the Bronze Age, and the Iron Age. Essentially, right, for the Stone Age, right in here, tools made out of stone, tools made out of bronze, and then tools made out of iron, essentially, is how we tell these apart. And there's this chart here for us. The Stone Age period is known as the Paleolithic, the Mesolithic, the Neolithic. We'll get to those later. And essentially, what happens is their time periods literally throughout history. The Paleolithic period is from 2.5 million years before zero to 10,000 years before zero, so just so recently. And they're handmade tools made out of stone, bone, and wood. They were used as spears, clubs, and axes and knives, apologies. And people would hunter and gather, right? So you lived in a tribe, you had hunters, you would go hunt for animals, you had gatherers to go gather wood, fruits, and berries. As we enter the Mesolithic period, we have more handmade tools, but they develop bows and arrows. So we got have these ranged huntings. And then in the Neolithic period is when we have what is known as the Neolithic Revolution. Importance here for the Neolithic Revolution. And we get the domestication of animals, so cows, pigs, and sheep, right? Thank you, cows, for hamburgers and steaks and ribs and all that good stuff. Bacon, pigs, chickens, eggs, and then we have plants and animals. So people start to settle farming. The more food you can produce, the bigger your civilization gets, the more your people get to develop society, not so much on just living anymore. My job isn't just to hunter and gather, but now he can hunter and gather while I do another specific task. Right? Is this Neolithic revolution. After this Stone Age, we have the Bronze Age, where tools are made out of copper, bronze knives, daggers, swords, axes, and compact bow. There's already farming going on, so we get the birth of cities. If you are wondering where I'm at, I'm right here. And then iron is developed into more recent times, at least after the year zero, where we get iron tools, same concept, but iron allows for just iron is better than bronze, which is better than stone, right? Stronger items, stronger cities, stronger weapons, bigger armies, etc., etc. And this is turn that off. Apologies. Is the same chart we have up top. Now, as we go through history, until we get to carbon dating from our last lesson, this is really all we have to go on, right? So currently the Stone Age is divided into 3 periods. We just went over those. Because these people survive mostly, spotlight here, mostly by hunting and fishing. They did not build permanent dwellings. So a lot of them would live in shelters or caves, or they would hunter and gather, or they would live nomadic lifestyles. I'm going to travel and follow my food. In the Neolithic period, right, past the Stone Age, into the Stone Age, it's a shift from hunting and gathering into the domestication of animals and then into subsistence farming or farming for a living. They made tools out of stone, which greatly helped improve society. Here's where we get our domesticated plants and animals. The domestication of plants will lead to more farming. The more farming you can make, the bigger your cities grow, the more people you have, the more you can feed. Now that I have extra food, I can sell it. So in some instances, we have the birth and rise of economies and monies, right? These surplus grains or animals were necessary for this, right? A family might need the same tools, so I'll trade you tools for cows. Wealth was then measured by how much surplus you can trade. As animals were domesticated, we now have another food source. So thank you for that. Now, some of these first civilizations that we get this Neolithic revolutions will be in the Fertile Crescent. We have the Mediterranean Sea. Here's Greece, right? Greece. This here, no, this is not Greece. This is Persia. And today it is the country of Turkey. This would be Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, as you can see here, Lower Egypt, Upper Egypt, Mediterranean Sea, just bodies of water. If I'll show you guys this one later. As we move on, this is known as the cradle of civilization, where we believe our first major civilizations are developed. All civilizations are developed along fresh water, so just remember that, guys. Tel Abu, forgive me for captions there, was a village located here. Archaeologists have discovered the remains of two settlements. The first of this Mesolithic period. Essentially, fresh water and farming leads to bigger cities. However, one of the most significant discoveries is to grow domesticated wheat. So now we have farming. I know farming is taken for granted today, but believe me, without farming, we could not do very much. This will end our 1.4 lesson. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a message, send me an email. Office hours are in the top of our landing page if you need me. Live sessions, thank you all for who showed up today, right? Live sessions and office hours. You all have a great afternoon. Thank you very much.